Hey, what's up, mountain bikers? Dr. Matt here from MTB PhD, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about something that I've really been thinking about. So what's faster, our first or our third run? So if you ride a trail blind, are you going to go that much slower than after you practice a few times? So I've always wondered this, and a lot of times when I go riding, I'll ride a trail a few times, and I never have really been able to pinpoint the differences. So what I did is I got out the brake power meter, and I measured my braking, and today we're going to look at that on one of my favorite trails in New Zealand. So this trail's called Kissing Rock, and it's super technical. It's really steep, and we have a lot of clay, so it's really slippery. On this day that I rode the trail, this was no exception. It was quite slippery out there, and even though the sun was shining and it looked pretty dry, in the shade it was really slick. So I'll just give you a quick refresher on some of the gauges that I use with the brake power meter. I went into these a little bit more in depth in one of my more recent videos where I looked at pacing down a hill, so you can check that out if you want a bit more. So if you look over to the right, you'll see flow score. Flow score is the most important braking metric that we can have, and we want that score to be really low. And if it is, we're going to go faster. And then over on the left, we have that rolling graph, brake power, so we can see what's coming up, and we can use that for training purposes. So I think we'll just get into it and go straight into the race runs. This trail drops in about halfway down the hill, just off the road. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of trying to pump through this section. There's a little bit of pedaling that I can do, but I'm trying to make that as even as possible. I'm definitely not racing as far as my pedaling goes. There's some new rock section. That one was pretty cool. That was the first time I rode that on the first run. Then we have a few drops here. All those turns they're pretty slick, so there's not much time to slow down before the turns, just because of the steepness and there's not really any grip. I am braking a lot more in the turns than I really wanted to. With this section coming up, I unclipped on my second run, so that's why I did the third run. I meant to compare the first to the second. But that really slowed me down when I came unclipped. You kind of jump into a turn right there. And up here we have a little bit of a high line. I stayed left. And the first time I did it, I was really scared, so you can hear me hooting and hollering. And I came a bit unclipped there on my third run. And you can see right now my braking's even. So it was definitely pretty scary there, everybody. Not a whole lot of grip. Get into a few turns here. These are pretty steep as well. And then the steepest chute is just kind of coming up. You can hear me just kind of skidding around there. I was able to let off the brakes a bit quicker in my third run than my first run. And so you can see here with the stats, I ended up braking for 1 second less in my third run than in my first run. And this resulted in a lower flow score. So I did go a little bit faster in my third run, but actually it wasn't as much as I expected. Some of this could be down to me unclipping, and that I maybe did a little bit extra braking when I had my foot off the pedal. But I think actually for me, the biggest surprise is that I didn't go that much faster in the third run. It'd be really interesting to see if I did a bunch of runs, how much my braking would change, or if I added pedaling. But overall, the flow score shows that I was more efficient at using my brakes in the third run. And then the important thing that I could do to figure out how to go faster is I can go back and I can look for little tiny points in how I can improve my braking and use that for my 5th and 6th and 20th runs, just to see if I can dial in the fastest and smoothest run. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for the support. It's totally awesome. I love your comments. I love your emails, constructive criticism, feedback, everything. Keep it up.